Grenfell Monday, BBC One, 8:30 p.m. on June 14. It will be 1 year since the most devastating tower block fire in British history. BAFTA-winning director Ben Anthony began work on this documentary the day after the blaze, and the finished 90-minute film, which draws on hundreds of hours of interviews, social media content and archive footage, aims to tell the story of what happened before, after and during the fire, following survivors in the immediate wake of the tragedy and as they attempt to rebuild their lives in the months that follow. Among the residents featured is Lorraine Beadle, who was one of the first people to move into the flats in 1975. Cameras also follow 32-year-old Kareem as he tries to find out what happened to his uncle Hesham, who lived on the 23rd floor. Tommy Bowe, The Endgame Monday, RTE1, 9:35 p.m. Many of Ireland's rugby stars are forced to retire through injury, having had one too many bangs on the head, or one too many knocks to the knee. Ireland international Tommy Bowe, however, made the tough decision to quit while he was still in tip-top condition, and this documentary follows his final months in professional rugby as he prepares for the new challenges ahead. Having come back from serious injury to fitness, Bowe could have played another couple OFS, but he has a young family to consider, and, as he soon finds out, it's better to choose your own time to quit rather than waiting for the decision to be made for you. Bowe meets other retired sports professionals to find out how they adjusted to life outside sport, and looks at the career options available to retired sportspeople who have made the great leap off the playing field. Tommy Bowe meets former soccer international Paul McGrath, who played in 2 World Cups, notching up 83 caps. One of Us Monday, RTE1, 10:35 p.m. In case you missed this when it premiered on the BB in 2016, this dark drama set in the Scottish Highlands is getting a run on RTE. When 2 young newlyweds, just back from their honeymoon, are brutally murdered, their families are devastated, and the community in the remote village of Brayston are in shock. But when fate, in the form of a car crash, delivers the suspected killer into their hands on a stormy night, the families face a huge dilemma. Do they leave the injured man to die, or do they put aside their desire for retribution, and save him? It's not long, though, before the decision is taken out of their hands, and things take some unexpected and nasty twists. The 4-parter was written by Harry and Jack Williams, the brothers behind the hugely acclaimed Missing. And don't worry if you miss this again, it's on Netflix. Putin's Russia with David Dimbleby Wednesday, BBC One, 9 p.m. When the film version of The Hunt for Red October hit cinemas in 1990, the talk of Cold War and defecting Russian sub-commanders seemed more dated than disco. It was an era of glasnost, and a bright, new future for the superpower, and the rest of the world. Alas, in recent months there's been a nagging sense of déjà vu for many who remember the darkest days of history. With British intelligence accusing Vladimir Putin's government of criminal thuggery, this edition of Panorama examines what Russians see in their president. Experts also analyze how Putin has held on to power so long. David Dimbleby talks to an assorted mix of Putin supporters, while opposition protesters, lawyers and journalists reveal the ruthlessness and extent of the Kremlin's autocratic rule. Britain's Best Home Cook, The Final Thursday, BBC One, 8 p.m. Claudia Winkleman presents the final, in which just 3 more challenges stand between the remaining contestants and the title. First up is a fiddly summer favourite, followed by the familiar task of creating a dish using a key ingredient, although as it's the final the judges have a few tricks up their sleeve. Finally they have to serve up their best main course and pudding, and with dishes including beef Wellington, Thai curry, carrot cake and a risky take on one of Mary's cakes, there is plenty for the judges to get their teeth into. But who will they choose as the winner? The Trouble with Women with Anne Robinson Thursday, BBC One, 9 p.m. Few of us will forget the terror on grown men's faces as Anne Robinson turned her steely glare on them and declared, "You're the weakest link." The no-nonsense TV presenter can shatter glass ceilings with just one look, but in this special documentary, Robinson wonders if women are tough enough to take on the patriarchy, or are they snowflakes who let men trample on them in the workplace, at home and in the world at large. Robinson meets women from all walks of life to find out why they're still not getting the equal pay they deserve, and why they are still being discriminated against. 100 years after women's suffrage, are women still not being forceful enough to demand their rights, or is the patriarchy too powerful to topple in just a single century? Along the way, Robinson has her own views challenged, and calls for women to keep fighting, so that it doesn't take another 100 years to achieve equality. Tracy breaks the news Friday, BBC One, 9:40 p.m. It's a brave comedian that tries to impersonate anyone, because as brilliant as the makeup team are at the BBC, it takes more than some clever wigs and prosthetics to capture the essence of a character. Tracy Ullman knows this only too well, but then again SHE's been doing this sort of thing for decades. The latest chapter of her short-lived series draws to a close this week, and lined up in her comedy crosshairs are Jeremy Corbyn, Rupert Murdoch, wife Jerry, Angela Merkel, Theresa May, Michael Gove and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Additional reporting, PA.